ago now. And
220 wickets ago.
well, something extraordinary happened in 1980, because I was with Notts at the time, and I found that playing 12 months of the year was taking too much of a toll on the body, and I found that I couldn't run in from 20-25 yards day in, day out and compete. And so I had to make a dramatic change to my technique, and change was probably the greatest change in my bowling, was to come off the longer run-up and bowl off the shorter one. And it was just failed to be accepted back home in New Zealand.
Did they think you were bludging?
They thought that I was taking shortcuts, and the thought was that how could Richard Hadley, the strike power of New Zealand cricket, be effective off a short runner? It was as though that I wasn't giving 100%. And unfortunately, the pressure on my body at the time was just too much, and I had a lot of ankle ligament problems, so I had no alternative but to economise. And it wasn't accepted by the media in particular. The spectators gave me a hard time. Some of the players refused to accept it, so my total professionalism was questioned. And it wasn't until a year or two later when I started to have some good successes off the shorter run-up and proved that I could still do the job. In fact, quite frankly, it fine-tuned me as a bowler. It made me a far better bowler, more of a complete bowler, because I had better control, because I'd lost a yard of pace. I had to do things a bit better, so I was able to swing and seam the ball, cut the ball. I could still bowl the odd bouncer and intimidate the batsman, still get him out. And I found that I could bowl in longer spells, so the all-round effectiveness of the shorter run-up proved to be exactly the right thing to do. But unfortunately, in the early stages, I was alternating between the long and short, and it just didn't work because there was different rhythms and timings, different training involved, and so I had to make a clear-cut decision in 1982, as I did, that it was the short run for the rest of my career. Otherwise, I would have been out of the game 5 or 6 years ago, and it's just kept me going. It's given me a longer life in the game, and it was significant.